Welcome back to the 831 Living Your Best Life podcast with Jungle Jim Hunter. I know you will be inspired and empowered, and tell your friends to go to their favorite podcast provider or go to my website, junglejimhunter.com, and click on subscribe, download, like, and rate and review this podcast. All this week, we've been talking about where does preparation begin, and we're talking about my number one fan, my number one supporter, my father. And he was number one of 831 to me because he taught me so much, and 831 people allowed me to live my best life, and I'm fulfilling what my mother asked me to do, and that was to make sure that I played all my music by helping others live their best life. Working around my dad every day was challenging, so how did I do it? How can you do it? How can you prepare to be an Olympic skier and still get all the farm work done? I know you all have limited time available, and you can be sure that in everything I did, I had to figure out how to do it by rote, which was one of his favorite statements. In other words, as natural as breathing, I had to be able to do it so it never interfered with the work on the farm and caused me to have an excuse for not getting training done. This meant you had to plan the full day ahead and anticipate what you'd do if changes had to be made in any way during the day. If I had a physical day where I was doing all the gopher jobs like picking rocks, shoveling grain, filling the drills with the pails, fixing equipment, I counted that as a physical workout and recorded the muscle groups I used and the effect on my body. If I had adequate cardio, then I did not have to ride my bike home or run home after a full day of working. If it was a sedentary day of sitting on an implement, then I made sure I had the tire tubes in the pail next to me so I had the right resistance for every lift. If you spent 15 to 17 hours on an implement, then you paced your workouts between upper and lower body and by muscle groups so you did not fatigue any particular area. Keeping meticulous notes made sure you did not repeat a muscle group. I tried to do as much dynamic training as possible and learned to do exercises in many ways to stay away from stationary muscular development. I did everything while trying to maintain my balance because skiing requires that. I did thousands of pre-jumps on the seat of the tractor and always asked Dad to let me have the open-air tractor with no cab so I could do all the things I did standing on one leg. In addition, you must make sure you had your bike and knapsack so you could ride home late in the day or run home and be able to carry what you needed for the next day. One of the biggest challenges was keeping hydrated and fed. I would prepare food I took with me in my knapsack because I would often leave early in the morning to get to the implement warmed up before the sun came up so we could be moving before Dad got there. Dad would bring breakfast to the field, but often because of interruptions, breakdowns, or repairing things, keeping things greased and fueled, there was no schedule for lunch and supper. If I was going to work out during the day, my food plan had to be maintained so I did not deplete my energy stores. Keeping enough water on hand was the biggest challenge in the heat. Once I had the physical gained and organized, I had to start working on the mental and carried a cassette recorder, headphones, and loads of batteries to listen to motivational music and speakers. I kept detailed drawings and notes on the race courses. I rehearsed them and planned to race them the next year. While standing on the seat, I would run the courses in my mind, mimicking the turns, pre-jumping, and body positions of the race. I could run the courses and time them with a stopwatch and be within a couple of seconds of the winning times. When we start working with an athlete or business person, early in the preparation, we ask what will keep them from reaching their goals. The answer given every time is that they don't have enough time. I remember one young athlete who claimed he had no spare time to train, so he wondered how he was ever going to fit me in. The truth is, we can find the main reason they are not getting better is not because they don't have enough time. No, it's never because they don't have enough time. When I examine their schedules, they have at least 4 to 6 hours a day to train and prepare. The challenge they have is that they do not want to change their lifestyle and give up what is already in their formed habits that they cannot possibly give up because, well, it would interrupt their fun. What's the application here? I had 6.5 years or 520 hours of ski time to be an Olympic bronze medalist. I skied a total of 3,632 hours in total before I won my bronze medal, but that's another story and we'll talk about that later. However, I spent 10,920 hours on the farm training almost every day, preparing for the Olympic Games. My goal each day was to get in between 6 and 8 hours of training daily. My dad used to say that my body was on the farm, but my mind was on the mountain every moment of the day. He was right. My question to you is, are you serious about change and growth, or are you just telling yourself you would like to grow, but you're still finding reasons why not to start planning your crop, and right now you're hoping that you have a crop failure? My quote for the day: we know the statement about planning to fail. I think it should say, if you're not growing, you failed already. My 1% personal dare all this week to you is to take 15 minutes today, every day of this week, and grow, improving yourself so you can lead the people you're responsible to and for, so you can be a greater help to them at the end of this week. I hope you will have grown before we meet next time. Thanks for listening.